Marcus Bowman. I'm running for U.S. Senate. I'm on the ballot March 1st. I'm asking for your vote. You can read a lot about me at marcusbowman2016.com. You can read my personal history, my resume, so to speak, and you can read where I stand on various issues. Here is going to be a little rundown for you in person. I'm 42 years old, which is about the same age as the incumbent was when he first went to Washington, D.C. Paul Ryan is 45 years old, just a few years older than me, and he's Speaker of the House now. I can provide that type of leadership. My resume is very similar to, for example, Paul Ryan, in that I have a master's of public policy and I have a finance and economics degree. So my head's very aligned, very similar into how I can approach issues pragmatically from a business mindset. But I didn't learn any bad lessons. I did work up in Washington, D.C. like Paul Ryan, which I think is essential to going up to Washington, D.C. and being effective. I've been there. I've been in the Senate. I've been in the Senate committee hearings. I've analyzed 700-page bills and broken them down line by line. And so I can step right in. I didn't learn bad lessons because I worked off of Capitol Hill for a very small company called International Access Corporation, IACDC.com, if you want to read up on them. And they're a Japanese-owned company. I worked on transportation policy and energy policy issues primarily and analyzing the federal budget. And I was educated in the Constitution at George Mason University, where I earned my Master's of Public Policy. At Iowa State University, I was vice president and then president of the Finance Club. I was chair of the Baldwin County Young Republicans in Daphne, and I currently serve on the Baldwin County Republican Party Executive Committee. I started a small business selling internet connectivity and phone systems to businesses. It's called Flyover Solutions, run out of Daphne, where I live. And I've also done Uber driving recently to help pay the bills. And I've worked in retail. My first job was with McDonald's. I've worked manufacturing. I've worked in maintenance before. And so I believe that I have the pragmatism to kind of represent as kind of a true man of the people, but also somebody with the experience, education, and leadership. And I've got the principles and values to properly represent Alabama, and that I believe in one man and one woman, traditional marriage. I believe life begins at conception. I'm very fiscally conservative and I'm very morally conservative. At the same time, I'm going to be a new type of leader that works with everybody. I don't care if Bernie Sanders becomes president. Somehow we need to find common ground and win-win solutions to keep this country moving ahead and keep this country innovative and innovating. So I'm not afraid to work with anybody in Washington, D.C., no matter who it is, and I can sit down and have what I would like to call adult conversations so that we can introduce solutions. I've got a vision that we need 1,000 little fixes in America. We can just tackle little problems one at a time. We don't need 1,500-page bills. We need to return to principles where we get to read bills before they're passed, and we need to make these bills smaller and tackle individual issues one at a time, as opposed to putting everything into a comprehensive reform bill. We can talk about border security separately from a comprehensive immigration reform bill, and we can break down our budget into 12 separate appropriations bills and pass them by September 30th so that our budget, our fiscal year, which begins October 1st, can begin properly on time. So this is Marcus Bowman for U.S. Senate, and I have the education, the experience, the leadership, the principles and values, and the pragmatism to be the most effective U.S. Senator to represent the people of Alabama for the next 6 years. Please vote for me on March 1st and share my website, marcusbowman2016.com.